Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. How's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And today I get to talk about my top 10 must-buys, essential reads, the books to check out, coming out in August of 2025. That's right, we are sticking to 10 this month. Not 11, not 13, not 15, no loopholes, just 10. And let me tell you what a mistake that was. I should have gone with 13. It's my channel. I make the rules. Why should I have to stick to 10? What the hell is wrong with me? Would have been easier just to do 13. 15, really. Anyway, before going any further, please don't forget to smash that like button. It goes a long way for us here on the channel. Small thing you can do, but it does mean the world to us. And also that I have to remind, my wife always tells me to do this, but now I'm doing it. Do have a reminder that we do have a Patreon. It's an amazing way to support the channel if you can do so. Helps make videos like this possible. And thank you to our existing patrons. Could not be doing things like this without you all. And I would love to know what your top 5 books of the month are, top 10, top 3, whatever they are, in the comments down below. All right, 10 books. And as always, I put what date they come out, the bottom. Anyway, you'll see. Let's go ahead and start with the first one. House of Slaughter Book 1. Now, there is a deluxe edition coming out. I like collecting the Something is Killing the Children in slipcase editions. I love them, and I fell in love with this world when reading Something is Killing the Children. And this is from the world of Something is Killing the Children. And this is a new sector, a new group of demon hunters, perhaps, from the House Boucher. Not Butcher. I bet it's pronounced Butcher. And it's a different house than the House Slaughter. So this is one of those characters coming in and training the people from House of Slaughter and going after demon hunters. So there's characters you'll see in here that showed up in Something is Killing the Children. This collects House of Slaughter 1 through 5, 11 through 15, and 21 through 25. Much like the mapping of Something is Killing the Children, they're separating them by different story arcs, things set in the past. I think Tynion is kind of overseeing everything. The book has 400 pages, $49.99 for the deluxe edition and $69.99 for the slipcase edition. This one mainly written by Tate Brumball. And of course, you have stuff in here from James Tynion IV and Werther Dell'Edera. But it is a spin-off title from that world. Absolute Wonder Woman, Volume 1. Now, I know most people probably more excited about Absolute Batman, or because the Superman movie just blew everyone's nips up. It's a weird... Yeah, I'll stick with it. Yeah, the Superman movie blew everybody's nips off with how great it was, even though I thought it was an 8 out of 10. But hey, if you thought it was a 10 out of 10 movie, more power to you. That's all that matters. I'm still most excited about Absolute Wonder Woman. I talked to Kelly Thompson about it and still was very vague about it. I didn't want to know too much. But I'm a huge fan of Kelly Thompson and a huge fan of Hayden Sherman. Hayden is too good of an artist to be somebody as young as they are. Amazing. And now we get the first 7 issues collected in here, both in a hardcover or a softcover, depending on your taste. And 208 pages, $24.99 for the hardcover. And $17.99 for the softcover. What got me was this badass heavy metal cover that I saw. It's this one here that they're using. And I was like, I don't know what this book is about, but I'm in. I like the tattoo. I like this demon horse Pegasus thing. Yeah, and you got Jordi Belair on colors. Yeah, that looks like a winner. Batman. Batman Year 3 Deluxe Edition. Now, this is something I wanted in absolute format, just like my Batman Year 2. By the way, those videos are coming out, my most wanted. And I will I'll be happy to take this in deluxe edition. It's coming out in DC Finest. It's been collected before in trade paperbacks in Cape Crusader and Dark Knight Detective. but this is in deluxe format. Are you kidding me? Pat Broderick's wonderful artwork. This is the story by Marv Wolfman. You have George Perez on covers. And first appearance of Tim Drake, my favorite Robin, happens through these pages. It's kind of like a throwback of Batman Year 3, but more like a Robin Year 1. And I know it's been retconned with, what was it, the Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale Dark City. That's considered kind of like Robin Year 1. And then there was the Robin Year 1 by Chuck Dixon and Scott McDaniel. But to me, I think because I grew up during this era, this is the era that I think of the definitive Dick Grayson story, the very first Robin. And, you know, his fight to become the first sidekick for Batman. I love it. And I'm so glad it's coming out in the deluxe edition. A book I know I've talked about on my channel a lot, but just in case you missed on it the first 2 times, this is the 3rd printing of Annihilation Conquest Omnibus. I 100% to this day stick by my guns. This is, to me, the most amazing run on the Cosmic Universe. And I know people look at the Infinity Gauntlet trilogy and think that's as good as it got. I have a lot of viewers that love the original, like Marvel, Captain Marvel stories, Adam Warlock, the stuff from the 70s, the Jim Starlin stuff, and they were like, that's as good as it got. To me, like, I love the Infinity Gauntlet. They got me when I was a kid, but it was Annihilation that hooked me. And that modern cosmic Marvel stuff, oh man. And this, I thought, was a better story. There are people that love Annihilation, there are people that love War of the Kings, and there are people like me that I think Annihilation Conquest was the best. Collected in here is Nova 1 through 12, annual number 1. And keep in mind, the Epic collections are mapped different. They don't collect all of Nova. Annihilation Conquest Prologue, Conquest Star-Lord 1 through 4. The beginning of the Guardians of the Galaxy starts here. And this is truly the beginning of the Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning collaboration. Annihilation Conquest Quasar 1 through 4. Whoa, what happened to Quasar? Remember? How do we have a new Quasar? We have a new Quasar. Annihilation Conquest Wraith 1 through 4, a new character. Annihilation Conquest 1 through 6, the main story. And Annihilation Saga 1. The book has a total of 872 pages, $100. Absolute DC New Frontier. Oh my gosh, all day, every day. Yes, I've had every printing of this Absolute Edition. The original printing that didn't come with the Justice League story. The newer printing that came out, I think, in 2016, and now we're getting it back to print. And if you've never read this love letter from Darwin Cook to the Silver and Golden Age, oh man, you're... I had this laying out. I was reading it back in the Absolute Edition, the original one. Oh my gosh, it had to be like 2008. And a friend of mine who had come in for a bachelor party, we were drinking and a lot of us just kind of passed out somewhere. But anyway, he got up the next morning and was making breakfast and read this book. Not a fan of comics. Never really read comics. Hadn't even watched any of the movies. And back in 2008, there weren't really a lot, mainly for Marvel. Well, some DC stuff. But anyway, he was like, dude, that book was amazing. Like, the dinosaur part, and then, like, the coming of Martian Manhunter. And I was like, you like that? And he was like, yeah, man, that book was good. And sure enough, he was right. That is a non-comic book reader that thought that, and I 100% agree with him. So this does collect all of the DC New Frontier 1 through 6, plus the Justice League The New Frontier Special number 1. And the book has a total of 528 pages and retails for $125. And you owe it to yourself. You can even check out the DC compact way in case, like, maybe it may not be for you. There are certain people in this house that didn't like it. Go figure. All right. Batman by Tom King Omnibus, Volume 1. Now, some of you, and this is such a unique book, some of you were like, what's wrong with you, man? You chose this over Starman Companion Volume 2. What is wrong with me? Companion Volume 2? And others are like, absolutely, it belongs on the list. It is such a divisive book. I never saw another Batman. I really thought, like, I don't know, I have gone through the era of Batman where people are like, that's the worst Batman book, year 2, or the best Batman 2. Nobody says that except me. I still don't think it's the best. But anyway, people are really divisive with this. And then when it came to the poll, though, to vote for Volume 1, it was insane just how much more people voted for this than the second choice. Like, like a lot of miles it won. This is collecting the first 24 issues, the Rebirth issue number 1, Nightwing 5 and 6. Night of the Monster Man is collected all through here. Detective Comics 941 and 942. The Flash 21 through 22, so the buttons all collected in here. Batman Annual 1 and Batman Elmer Fudd Special number 1. So, for me, when I read the first 6 issues, I Am Gotham, I thought, I don't get it. Everybody keeps telling me how great this book is, and people were loving it. People were, this is before, I had a podcast at the time, I think. No, my podcast was over. I was just talking to a friend about it. I was like, yeah, what do you think about this Batman by Tom King? And he was like, dude, it's some of the best Batman out there. And I had read the first the first 6 issues, I Am Gotham, and I thought, what's the point of introducing new characters? Then I read the second set of issues. So I guess issues 7 through 12. And I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good. I dig that. Starts off with David Finch on artwork. Mikael Janin comes on board to do a lot of the artwork too. It's got Annual number 1 in there. And the Elmer Fudd issue is actually excellent. I really like that Elmer Fudd issue. Some people look at that and are like, what the hell? No, the Elmer Fudd issue is excellent. But yeah, it's interesting to see how divisive this book is. Like, people either love it or just want nothing to do with it. And I've never seen another Batman book like that, honestly. And maybe it has to do with social media. I don't know. But for me, yeah, it's on the list. Come on. It's a good story. It doesn't start off great for me, but I think there are some ups and downs, much like Grant Morrison's run on JLA and New X-Men. Don't know why I went with that comparison, but I did. All right, next up is Die, Die, Die Deluxe Edition. So, there's an evil world out there. We all know this. But evil people are doing evil things all the time. This is where the secret cabal from the United States government works outside of the normal system to go and target, assassinate people all world around. So this is from Image Comics. It's by Robert Kirkman and Scott Gimble, who did the Walking Dead TV show. But what got me was Chris Burnham. I love that dude's artwork in the Batman Incorporated, and Nathan Fairbairn on colors. Love his colors. This is from Image Comics. It is $49.99, and the complete series is collected all in this deluxe edition. So I am in for this book. Not to be confused with Die, which is also from Image Comics in a deluxe edition. Next up, of course, Spectacular Spider-Man by DeMatteis and Buscema. I'm no fool. Of course I'm recommending that. If you've never read it, oh my gosh, some of the best Spider-Man stories. And I know, the flagship title, Amazing, always outsold Web of and Spectacular. But the stories in here are so damn good. Sal Buscema on artwork is killer. Issue 200 alone, which is the cover of the standard edition, is worth the price of admission. Collected in this book is Spectacular Spider-Man 178 to 216, Spectacular Spider-Man 12 through 14, that's the annuals. Amazing Spider-Man Soul of the Hunter one-shot is even included in here, which is a follow-up of sorts to the Kraven's Last Hunt. The book has 1,200 pages, $125. Some people wanted to see some of the early stuff collected in here instead of some of the stuff by Ann Nocenti and also Tom DeFalco and Mike Lackey. But so yes, J.M. DeMatteis does end up leaving the book and moving on to Amazing Spider-Man after David Michelinie left the book. But what they decided to do here, and I'm so glad they did, I was worried they wouldn't do this, is actually collect this all the way until issue number 216. Meaning that this lines up perfectly with the Clone Saga Omnibus Volume 1. Otherwise, we would have had these orphaned issues in there. And like I said, most of those are done by Tom DeFalco and Ascenti, Mike Lackey, but Sal Buscema's still doing the artwork, hence the title of the Omnibus. But yeah, DeMatteis left, and I think it was Stephen Grant, if I'm not mistaken, that ended up taking over the book for a little while. But all the way to the end, I love that they're doing this. It is finally coming out. We got this and Daredevil by Nascenti. I announced Omni Volume 2 of Daredevil by Nascenti. It's a great freaking era of collected editions, I swear. The Nam, 1966 to 1969. This is a book I thought a lot of us didn't think we would ever get in omnibus format. There were a series of, I think, 3 classic collections that came out, and that was it. And oh no, there was a Punisher one too. The Punisher and the Nam, when the book later changed its vision, I guess. But these first few issues, oh my gosh, Doug Murray just killed it. It was edited by Larry Hama, and I think him and Doug were military friends. And it's done in such a unique way. Don't let the direct market cover fool you. I'll just go ahead and tell you, superheroes do not appear in this book. That's like a dream sequence. This book is actually about Vietnam and the people that fought in that war and the ramifications of what ended up happening to some of those people. And the way that it's done is you do your tour of a year and then somebody else will come in and take over your place. Some of them make it out alive and go home. Some of them don't. And it went all the way from 1986 to 1993. There were a total of 84 issues. And it was just such an amazing series. And this is collecting the very first 45 issues of this series, plus the predecessor, which is Savage Tales 1 and 4. Savage Tales is kind of like the black and white magazine that they were trying out. And this is all part of the 23rd Infantry Division. And all the characters that you're going to meet along the way. Again, not really taking place in the Marvel Universe, just aware of the Marvel Comics. And those first 12 issues, man, they're so good. Those are actually done by Michael Golden. Then a couple of artists started coming in to do just a bunch of different work. And I want to say after Doug Murray left the book, it had to have been Chuck Dixon, because it was the Punisher and the Nam book that was coming out later on. I want to say Chuck Dixon took over the book. Maybe even Mike Barron. But yeah, at the very beginning, it was both Murray, Don Daly actually doing some of those early stuff too. All right, next up is the Wednesday Comics, the 2025 edition. I'd be a fool not to recommend this. This was originally published in like newspaper size books, so the book is going to be oversized. It will not fit in your K-Lax. It is bigger than your Absolute edition. And this collects the 12-issue amazing series, and I wish they would do more of these. 200 pages, $75. And what Dan Didio wanted to do was kind of capture the magic of those old newspaper strips, if you will. And just put different creators on different characters. You have like Batman by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Rizzo. Funny enough, they went on to do a few stories with Batman later on. But then you've got like Paul Pope on Adam Strange. You've got Dave Bullock on Deadman. Kamandi by Dave Gibbons. I think it was Dave Gibbons. Green Lantern by Kurt Busiek and Jorge Quinones. Teen Titans was done by Sean, I think it was Sean Galloway that did the artwork. There's Sergeant Rock, written by Adam Kubert, of course, Joe Kubert's son, and it is drawn by the legendary Joe Kubert. Dan Didio actually doing the Metal Man, I think, and Carl Kerschel doing the Flash storyline. Ben Caldwell doing the Wonder Woman story. John Arcudi doing Superman. I'm just looking at the cover and trying to remember who did who. But yes, an amazing array of just different creators on this book, and just featuring different characters, standalone stories. You don't need to read anything before or after. It's not a continuation. It's not. It's just an amazing experiment that they did that I wish they would do more often, because, man, it's just, it was really fun and it was really good. And yeah, those are my top 10. So if you're interested in any of those, check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltzcomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was my list of the top 10 essential reads, must-buys, books to check out, even at the library. If you've got Hoopla and all that, or get your library card, if you have a library, if you're blessed enough to have one, for the month of August of 2025. In the comments down below, let me know what you would have chosen, what you haven't even heard of that made it on this list, and of course, what your top 10 list would be, or your top 5, top 1. That's it, everybody. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.